Consumers have been trying to adjust to the increased interest rates. Although, as you know, rates have come back down in the mortgage area now. We're seeing a huge increase in refinancing again, believe it or not. Our refinancing activity now is about 45% of our volume versus 90 days ago it was about 20%. So that's helping the consumers by being able to refinance and get their payments down at a lower level. There's certainly more skepticism in terms of taking on new housing acquisitions at this point. We think that's somewhat temporary. It's the time of the year. There's certainly some nervousness in terms of what's going on around the marketplace.
Yeah.
But it is slower. We personally think it will be picking back up in the spring.
Yeah, it's interesting that just in the last, sort of few days, few weeks, you're seeing a bigger boost from refis than back in October, November, and that's what Sherwin-Williams kind of said too. What else outside of the mortgage market in terms of your consumer and industrial loans? Again, we don't have a ton of data from the government right now, so we're really relying on you guys to tell us what's happening out there.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I said this morning on our earnings call that the real economy, I distinguish the real economy in terms of what consumers and businesses are actually doing versus all that people speculate about, existential events, et cetera. The real economy is still very solid in the consumer space and the business space, particularly where we do most of our business, which is on Main Street. Optimism is high. People are still spending. Our pipelines are still good. We had very strong loan growth in the fourth quarter, 3.6%. So I would say right now it is good. There is certainly some chatter about what's going on around, the shutdown and trade talks, et cetera. That has not yet stymied business activity. At some point, I guess we could talk ourselves into a reduction in actual business activity, but that's not happening yet.
So in terms of the trends that you're seeing, Kelly, I mean, in the fourth quarter, in the month of December specifically, because that's when the most volatility happened in the market, and that's where it seemed like a lot of businesses in various sectors have said that the consumer sort of slowed down, businesses slowed down a little bit. What did you see in the month of December, and what have you seen coming out of December into January? Has it picked up significantly? I mean, you did stand by your 2019 forecast that was given back in November.
We did because our fourth quarter volumes were good, kind of across the board. You always have some seasonality. We have some businesses that are slower in the winter months and so forth. But when you wash through all of that, our business activity was strong in the fourth. Everything we see now would suggest that it will be strong on a seasonally adjusted basis through the first. So there's no real reason today to be concerned about business activity. That will only happen, I think, when either the dramatic existential events that cause some real interruption, or we continue such negative rhetoric out of Washington and other places that causes people to get depressed.
Kelly, Maxine Waters is now at the helm of the House Financial Services Committee and has already said in her speech that she will be going after big banks or be giving them a hard time. Now, you guys aren't that big, but what do you think is coming at you regulatory-wise?
Well, we've heard some of that, and we hope to spend some time with Ms. Waters, helping her understand better that the big banks are not the enemies, the small banks are not the enemies. We really are trying to help the economy grow. We're trying to create jobs. We're trying to do exactly what she wants us to do, which is to provide a better way for her constituents, all the citizens of our country to live happily and do well economically and financially. So we hope to spend some time helping her see that, that the vast majority of financial institutions in this country, really didn't do anything wrong through the crisis, aren't doing anything wrong today, really are productive in terms of helping the economy grow. And we think we'll be successful at that.